good Tuesday practice. Guys are getting ready to go. You always have new wrinkles and stuff you're installing on Tuesdays. Sometimes it can be mentally challenging for some guys, but I thought we handled that pretty well. I thought the energy was good. I think guys are excited to get on a plane and go to Mississippi and face a really quality opponent. Questions?
You were talking about after the game that going down 17-0, there's a lot of things you wanted to fix and clean up. After assessing the game after a few days, what are those areas, and how are you all addressing them in practice?
Yeah, I think it would really just I know I keep saying that, but the execution part, like when one guy doesn't do his job, that's what happens. And so we just got to continue to put guys in the right spots, put guys in the right situation, and when their number's called, they got to go out and perform.
TJ Finley had another strong performance. After that first interception, though, Hornsby came in. Was that a situation of you just you wanted to see what the backup had after a turnover, or was there something else we didn't know that happened on the sideline?
His helmet had problems.
TJ?
And he was like, my helmet's broke. And so I think his ear pad came out or something. And so we were like, that's why we got the delayed game, because we're trying to figure out what's wrong with TJ's helmet. And then we finally got it, and we put Malik in, and they didn't, I don't know. It was kind of a weird deal. So, yeah, that's what that was about.
It makes sense why it was just one play then, because it was a helmet deal.
One
TJ.
or two, yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, one or two. I think it was two. But, that was it.
And we heard on your coach's show yesterday, Torrey Spears out for the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's another captain, big blow.
Yeah.
What happened? We heard it was in practice.
Yeah, just an individual drill. Just one of those freak deals. And same individual drill he's done every day since spring ball. And just one of those unfortunate deals.
It's like ACL.
Yeah, I don't want to comment on his deal. Yeah.
Going on Finley's interception, did it just when you look at, was it just like a miscommunication between the quarterback and the wide receiver on that play, or what?
It was really a good play by the defender, to be honest with you. It was a situation where we were probably a little too close for that, and it was an RPO, and it was man, and he kind of came off and made a good play. So credit to those guys, and they did some things in what they were trying to do to defend kind of some things that we've had some success with the first couple of weeks, and I was kind of waiting for that to happen. It happened, and we were able to make that adjustment in the second half.
Seeing how what kind of the success Nevada was having that first half. Well, I guess during this week, what adjustments have you made to settle those advantages Nevada was able to take?
Say that again.
Sorry.
You're good.
Seeing how Nevada was able to take advantage of some stuff, just how during practice, what have y'all been doing to kind of, adjust for there?
Yeah, I think every team is a little different. So I think for us, it's more, especially on Sundays, more like let's correct the things that were on film. And then Monday's academic. Then Tuesdays, we're all in on kind of Southern Miss, and we're anticipating what they're going to run versus kind of, just because they showed this on film doesn't mean that's necessarily what they're going to do. So we're kind of working through different situations and coming up with new schemes and new wrinkles to your playbook. And today was more about just us and getting guys in the right spot and executing at a high level. And for the most part, for a Tuesday, I thought it was pretty good.
Just looking at the Southern Miss defense, what are some things that y'all are adjusting for?
Yeah, I think their defensive line. I'll start on defense. I think their defensive line is big, athletic. They have a lot of twitch to them. Their linebackers once again are big. Like you can tell their back end has length. They're big. They're athletic. They play well together. They're really well coached. So it's going to be quite the challenge. It really is. I would say they're the physically one of the best, if not best, teams we've played when it comes to that. So we'll have a challenge there. And then their offense, I think it all starts with their running backs. I think they're really talented. Obviously, headlined by the Frank Gore Jr. I think he's a stud, and their O-line once again is big. We probably, we're alike when it comes to that. Like, we like big guys, and you can tell that their head coach does as well. Their receivers are speedy and can make plays down the field. Their quarterback, you can see every week that experience that he's gaining is valuable for him, and he's getting better each week. He's got the talent. You can tell he's being coached well. So this is a really good opponent, a conference opponent on the road. Just adds another layer of difficulty. But once again, just like I told these guys at halftime at Nevada and after the UTSA and after Baylor, it's going to be about us every week. This is a young team, not necessarily in age, but being together for a while. So we got to continue to get better each week. Each meeting is important. Each practice is important. Each time we're able to face adversity and make that decision on how we're going to go is important. So I like where we're at, but we got to continue to get better.
Entering conference play, as a coach, how do you feel going in 3-1? You know, this is the best start we've seen in a decade.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It's anytime you can stack those wins. Obviously, I like to be 4-0, but I think now it's all right. You have your preseason, and that's over. Now it's like everything is focused on Southern Miss and how can we get better and how can we get guys in the right spot and how can we continue to win. Because, you know, we got to get – that's our job is to win and get these guys to graduate and making sure everything is right in their life. So we got to continue to – there's no let up. We got to continue to push in every area. That's what I told them. We're class checking today. We're class checking Thursday. I mean, we're on them every day about something. So that's what it takes to continue to build that culture the way you want it and continue to have that success.
And building on that, what is your communication like with the team right now?
The what?
What's your communication like with the team right now?
I have a team meeting with them every day. Talk to them every day after practice. I'm continuing to build those relationships with guys, and so I think that part is good.
Do you know Will Hall at all? Do you have any kind of previous relationship with him?
I don't have a previous relationship, but he's one of those guys that I think, you know, it's always, you know, I like the psychology part of it. And we're sitting in a room together in Destin, and everyone's kind of looking around like, all right, this guy's new. He's been here for a while. And we kind of gravitated towards each other. And we kind of struck a relationship up, and we're very similar probably in a lot of ways. And I think he's a really, really good coach and a great person. And he's got those guys playing really hard and really well. And so it'll be good to see him before and after the game and get our guys to play against each other. That's one thing about head coaches, like, you know, our teams are playing against each other. You know, I'm not necessarily doing anything. I'm not out there running routes on him or anything. So he's a great coach and a great person.
You know, looking at Southern Miss, they just lost Arkansas State. They're 1-3 right now. Texas State's favored. Do you read anything into that, or when you look at Southern Miss, what do you see?
Yeah, I think it's just about us, and you know, I think it's just so early in the season. You know, I think it's still we haven't even played a conference game yet, so I wouldn't read too much into that.
You know, first two road games, you got to drive.
Yeah.
This one's Mississippi. It's flying.
Yeah.
How different is that going to be for your team? I'm sure y'all are prepared thoroughly for what's that like?
Yeah, I think it's been nice not to have to get on a plane. But I think there's a extra level of excitement and guys, you know, sometimes it's for guys first time to ever be on a plane. You know, it's one of those type deals. So it's exciting for guys. There'll probably be some anxiety for some guys. I think the hydration part is always key and making sure we're fueling them right and we have the right hydration and we're getting IVs and to the guys that need IVs and all that. But as far as staying in a hotel and our schedule, that doesn't necessarily change week to week, whether we're on the road or at home. So the airplane ride will probably be the biggest deal.
You know, after these 4 non-conference games, how do you feel like this team is heading into conference play?
Yeah, I think we're battle tested. We've played some really good teams. It's one of those deals where at the beginning you're like, man, I wish we had some easier teams, but it made us better. I think we're able to face some adversity and you know, I think we're heading in the right direction and we just got to continue to get better and making sure we're challenging our guys on and off the field and holding them accountable and all that kind of stuff. So I like where we're at, but we still got a lot of work to do.
You know, even though like you sometimes like, you know, they facing adversity can be a little bit like gut wrenching and all of that stuff. But how good, with this team facing it, the adversity, going up to Baylor, getting a win, coming back from Nevada, getting kind of punched in the face against UTSA, how does that help the team into conference play?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Anytime you can face adversity, I think it's good, and you kind of learn a lot about yourself as a coach, and a lot about your coaches, and a lot about your team, and where you're at as a team, and I thought for the most part, we're handling it really well. Like I said, we're a new team and a new staff and new players, and it's so. But everyone's dealing with something across the country. Everyone's dealing with injuries. Everyone's dealing with this or with that, and really it's about how you're handling it, how your coaching staff is handling it, and who's going to handle it better, because everyone's dealing with it. So who can manage that better throughout the week and on game day?
We've kind of talked about it after the game, but having, 3 captains out for a while, just how have these players kind of responded, when 3 of your leaders have been kind of out with injuries?
Yeah, that's tough, but that's also part of football, and we got to continue to get guys ready to go and get guys prepared, and in the meeting room, it's not just the starters paying attention, it's the backups and their backup and their backup, so when your time is your number is called, you're ready to go.
And speaking more on injuries, we saw Connor Fox is in the depth chart.
Yep.
Myron Warren's back in the depth chart. Seems like they're going to be back. What about Jordan Revels, some of these other guys that were held out last game?
Connor will probably be one of those game time deals. He's trending in the right direction, but I want to make sure he's healthy all the way, and we have no setbacks there, so he'll be a game time decision. Who else did you say?
Bo Corrales.
Bo Corrales, same type deal. He practiced well today. He'll be a game time decision. Once again, I want these guys to be 100% ready to go before they're out there. Myron, same type deal. He had a good practice today. He's feeling really good and flying around. So another game time decision. Revels, probably a week away, 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. I don't want to put a timetable on him. It's just going to be see how he feels each week with his injury.
Relatively healthy, though. Do you feel good about where you're at, or is it a little disappointing?
I think it's just part of it. Sometimes, some years you're probably depending on the games you played, you're a little bit more healthy than other years. And I think this year just happened to be some of our captains, type situation. So just part of it. And but I think we have really good depth. I think we really do. We have good depth and guys that have played football before and are really good players and probably be starters, other places. So those guys be great. Like Colt stepped up. I mean, the guy's been all conference player before, and he's great.
Great, thanks.
Yep. All good? Yeah, go.
Like you were saying earlier, but now with conference starting, how important is it for you guys to get off to that good start and start winning on conference?
Yeah, no, it is huge, and that's why I told him. I said, kind of wipe what we've done, and that's great, and learn from those deals. But now it's all about Southern Miss and all about conference play and going 1-0 each week, and so that was I challenged them to have the best Tuesday they've ever had, because that's what it's going to take to beat these guys. They're really good.
Coach, my last question, just Brian Holloway winning Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week. Just overall thoughts about how, being one of the team captains, still healthy, about his performance last game and just how he's been important to this team.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he's really been that way since day one. And he's one of those guys that, there was no fill out for him. There was no like, hey, I want to fill these coaches out. It was, I'm all in day one. Like, he jumped in and maybe because he saw that as opportunity, and he wasn't that guy previously, and now he's the guy, and he's taken that role and really excelled, and so really proud of him. And anytime you can get those awards like that is it's special individually for the player, but it's also shows what type of team we have around him, and what the coaches are doing for him and getting him prepared. So it's definitely anytime there's an individual award, it's a team award as well.